Good evening. You're watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. Leave is decided on the Blaze Renaissance Day, the glorious 23rd of July. The 8th five-year plan implements around 1,100 projects worth more than 6.7 billion Omani Riyals. And Central Bank of Oman emphasizes stability of Sultanate's banking sector in spite sharp decline of global oil prices. Live from the news center of the Sultanate of Oman television, here we present to you the detail of tonight's news bulletin. His Excellency Sayyid Khalid bin Hilal bin Saud Al Busaidi, Minister of Diwan of the Royal Court and Chairman of the Civil Service Council, today issued a decision determining leave on the Blaze Renaissance Day, the glorious 23rd of July. It was decided that Sunday, the 24th of July 2016, will be an official leave for employees at ministries, public authorities and other departments of the state's administrative apparatus. The minister extends utmost greetings and best wishes to His Majesty the Sultan on this glorious occasion, praying to Allah the Almighty to protect His Majesty, grant him good health, happiness and long life, and for the return of this and similar occasion on His Majesty for numerous years to come. The Omani people and dear homeland further progress and prosperity under his wise leadership. His Excellency Sheikh Abdullah bin Nasser Al Bakri, Minister of Manpower, issued a ministerial decision determining leave on the Blaze Renaissance Day, the glorious 23rd of July, to be on Sunday, July 24th, 2016. Will be an official leave for employees at the private sector's companies and establishments. The decision allowed employers and employees to agree to compensate the leave if necessity arises. Employees whose weekly off coincides with the leave must be compensated. All employees at the private sector extend utmost greetings and best wishes to His Majesty Sultan Qaboos on this occasion, praying to Allah the Almighty to protect His Majesty, endue him with good health, happiness and long life, and for the return of these and similar occasions on His Majesty and the Omani people with blessings, good omen and well-being. Around 100,001 projects were implemented in the 8th five-year development plan 2011-2015 worth more than 6.7 billion Omani Riyals. The Sultanate spent more than 67 billion Riyals during the 8th five-year development plan against 61.5 billion Riyals as revenues. It focused during the 8th five-year development plan to utilize all revenues to complete the implementation of strategic projects that qualify the national economy for a development period that depends on non-oil resources or sources of income. The plan also witnessed the completion of giant projects which started in the previous plan, in addition to new projects. Among the awarded projects during this plan were the construction of South Al-Bathan Express Road at a cost of 796 million Riyals, which was considered as one of the vital projects that will facilitate the transport movement between South and North Al-Bathan Governorate and the Governorate of Muscat. The beginning of Bid Sur Road, the first and second phases of the project were awarded at a cost of more than 432 million Riyals, facilitating the goods transport from Sohar Port to most of the Sultanate's governorates after transforming Port Sultan Qaboos from a commercial port to a touristic one and transferring all commercial importing and exporting activities to Sohar Port. In the airport sector, a number of projects were awarded to complete Muscat and Salalah international airports. Also among the important awarded projects during the 5-year development plan were projects at Duqm Special Economic Zone. The Sultanate also implemented during the 8th 5-year development plan several programs in the fields of education and youth capabilities development, including expanding internal and external scholarships, human resources programs, new schools and training programs. The plan also developed health and housing sectors and established new roads connecting most of the Sultanate's governorates. The 9th 5-year development plan 2016-2020 will aim to increase non-oil revenues through focusing on 5 main sectors, namely manufacturing industry, transport and logistics services, tourism, fisheries and mining. The Central Bank of Oman, CBO, affirmed that there is no direct impact on the banking sector of the Sultanate despite decline in global oil prices. It also said that the bank is continuing to undertake its responsibilities through supporting economic diversification efforts and meeting the credit needs for youth. The total assets of commercial banks had witnessed an increase by 6.1% as to reach 28.8 billion Omani Rials at the end of May this year, compared to 27.1 billion Rials at the same corresponding period last year. The industrial activities also contributed tangibly in the economic growth, which included mining sector, which registered growth by 13.8%. The growth rate of electricity and water supply amounted to 11%. The construction sector grew by 8.6%. The report issued by the CBO also showed that the investments in securities and at commercial banks reached the level of 3 billion Rials by the end of May 2016. The investments in government development bonds and sukuk registered an increase by 37%, while government deposits at commercial banks recorded a decline by 16% as to reach 5.5 billion Rials. The private sector deposits witnessed an increase by 3%, registering 12 billion Rials. Border crossings in the Sultanate are witnessing an active tourist movement to the governorate of Dhofar due to Kharif season. Royal Oman Police, with all its formations, was well prepared to render all services and assistance to all visitors of the governorate, whether for inside, outside the Sultanate. It increased its personnel at the border crossings to facilitate and simplify entering procedures for visitors from the Gulf Cooperation Council countries. Royal Oman Police urged all visitors to take all preparations for the long distance to the governorate of Dhofar and abide by traffic regulations to reduce road accidents. Jabal al-Akhdar in the governorate of Ad-Dakhiliya witnessed an active touristic movement at this time of the year due to its moderate climate in the summer and its attractive touristic potential. In light of the increasing growth of the tourist movement, a number of promising projects are being implemented. However, visitors are still looking forward to more services which would contribute in facilitating their needs and provide necessary entertainment means. More than 160,000 visitors visited Jabal al-Akhdar last year. The wide places extending along Jabal al-Akhdar from an ideal environment for camping lovers and mountain picnics. You're watching the Sultanate of Oman television. Still to come in our news bulletin. Engineers at the Public Authority for Radio and Television have upgraded outside broadcast van from SD to HD.
هنا الرائحة العالقة بالذاكرة تأخذنا دهشة مختلفة لتبهرنا بجمالها الآسر حيث ملتقى الأسرة. امنح نفسك شغف التجربة، فهنا حكاية الجمال لا تنتهي. مهرجان صلالة السياحي 2016 من 15 من يوليو إلى 31 من أغسطس. عمان، المحبة والوئام.
Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman Television. Oman National Transport Company Muwasalat achieved the highest number of passengers since its establishment during one day, with more than 18,000 passengers on the first day of Eid al-Fitr. During Eid al-Fitr leave, number of passengers surpassed 72,000 at an average of 14,000 daily. Rui Ma'bela route topped the number of passengers during Eid leave with more than 30,000. It was followed by Rui Wadi Kabir with more than 13,000 Omanis, formed 20% of the total passengers during Eid leave using Muwasalat buses. The company plans to operate Al Khawd, the Sultan Qaboos University, Burj Al Sahwa route during the third quarter of the year, in addition to operating Muscat Dukum route at the same period. Engineers at the Public Authority for Radio and Television managed to upgrade outside broadcast van from SD to HD. The work was achieved in a record time in 8 weeks without extra cost. The engineers and technicians who worked in these projects were all Omanis. Through these van, engineers will be able to cover any event broadcasted from outside the station, like conferences, through satellites and optical fiber. Of course, congratulations to our colleagues for that good job. The Sultan's total number of fixed telephone lines, including post and prepaid lines, public telephones, integrated services for digital network and wireless in local loop connection as of May this year, stood at 445,319, marking a decline from April 2016, which stood at 450,443 lines. However, fixed paid lines increased to 339,789 lines in May from 336,175 in April, according to recent statistics published by the National Center for Statistics and Information. Mobile phone subscribers too registered a marginal increase in May over April figures, with total post and prepaid subscribers reaching over 6.67 million compared with 6.66 million in April. Postpaid subscriptions rose to 599,611 compared to April, while prepaid connections increased to 6.07 million from 6.06 million over the April-May period. Internet dial-up subscribers fell in May, while fixed broadband subscribers increased. Active mobile broadband subscriptions reached over 3.3 million in May. And now for the general weather forecast around the Sultanate. Cloudy skies will prevail over the coastal areas of the Governorate of Dhofar and its nearby mountains, with chances of intermittent drizzle and fog. Rest of the Sultanate will have clear skies with chances of cloud accumulation and scattered rain over the Hajar Mountains. Winds will be northeasterly light to moderate over the coast of Sea of Oman, while on the coastal areas of the Arabian Sea, it will be southwesterly moderate to active. Seas will be rough along the coast of Arabian Sea, with a maximum wave height of 5.5 meters and slight to moderate along the rest of the coast with a maximum wave height of 1.25 meters. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. Leave is decided on the blessed Renaissance Day, the glorious 23rd of July. The 8th five-year plan implements around 1,100 projects worth more than 6.7 billion Omani Riyals. And Central Bank of Oman emphasizes stability of the Sultanate's banking sector in spite of sharp decline of global oil prices. With that, we come to an end of tonight's news bulletin, brought to you live from the news center of the Sultanate of Oman television. From the entire news team and myself here, we thank you for joining us and good night.